All right, guys. William Wallace here from Spy Options Traders. Wanted to give you guys the daily recap, rather, weekly recap you can find over at spyoptionstraders.com. So, market today was, we went over pre market exactly where the support and resistance was, and I'm actually going to back out here. Let's go to hourly here on Spy. Let's throw this up into what we were looking at. So, we had a pretty decent day last few days of just scalping, and the action was consolidating. So you see that, you see this wedge pattern that was forming. And so I knew, obviously, we played that last couple of days, but coming into Monday here, we were watching for a break of this. And it was pretty well established in the morning that we were going to look for resistance at 299.26 and be bullish above that, or be bearish, breaking, and really was looking for a break over this, which it did pre-market, but that doesn't mean as much. So I was really looking for a break of 299.26. And the bottom here at 298.85. So we surprisingly came right out of the gate, did not succeed above this and broke below. And let's zoom in a little bit to the 1 minute, and you can kind of see how this took place. So beginning of the market here, it was just really going sideways. There's no real major news or anything happened over the weekend. I mean, a lot of the China stuff that came out really came out last week, and so we already played with it in the market. It was already priced in. Today was more of profit taking than anything, and plus we're pretty extended on the daily chart, so we really need some room down, some movement down, consolidation and things like that in order to have a healthy move back up. And what I mean by that is, in this area, this new high area close to 300, there's really not a ton. We went through and drew all the new support and resistance lines, but there's really not a ton of stuff here that has a lot of history to it. So we've got areas of gap ups and gap downs, and if you stack on gaps, what ends up happening is you build a house of cards and the thing falls. And so really we needed some nice down motion to establish these points of support and resistance, and to really get a healthy move up and not just a blast up that's going to fall even quicker than it builds. So coming into the open, the first 1 minute candle, pretty well was inside of the consolidation here, and it dropped down like really fast. Really kind of wasn't expecting it that fast, but people just right out of the open, man, they took their money and ran. So we played a put here, and actually played it on the bounce. Figured we'd get a bounce to retest resistance. We did. I was looking for a bounce to come all the way up to 298.85. That didn't happen, but when we got this nice candle here, I just put in a put, and we rode it all the way down here. Now it broke our 298.50, and I was kind of actually hoping that it would go a little bit lower to 298. It did later on in the day, but not immediately. So we got a little bounce, got some sideways consolidation, and then we got another pattern forming that we could play. So first play was this one, little bounce after some immediate downwards action. We took a nice little scalp there. You don't need much. Then it bounced and sort of tossed around in here between 10 and 11. And as you'll notice, this old support line, the bottom of the wedge, now becomes resistance. So when it got up here above 298.85, testing that resistance again, that test there was really a point where you can say, okay, it's either going to break it and keep going up, but it's not very likely after this big sell-off. So with this trend line on the bottom here, we were looking for a nice break of that, and we got it. And then it comes back up and test, and this is typical on SPY. Whenever it gets a drop or any sort of break of a trend line, you look for this little bounce, and that's going to confirm when the bounce fails to break resistance. That's going to confirm the downward move, and that's a very safe play. We got the same thing here. So this was probably the real entry if you were really just playing on that with a safe risk area somewhere up in here. But I waited for the pattern break here. We got a pattern break. It moved back up, tested 298.85, failed, we got in, and we had a nice little downward movement in it. That really surprised me. I expected it to get supported at 298. I would like it to go all the way down to 297. It got close, 297.16, but we took some profit off as it went down. So that was a great, great move. Then what we got is this nice V bounce. So long dip, quick sell off, big bounce. Okay, that was a basically 80-cent bounce there. And on that bounce, we're testing this 298 now to be resistance. So it became resistance, and you can, when it's inside of these little, even back here, look at this. Even here, when it's bouncing off these areas, you can kind of scalp in there if you're able to do that. And so SPY ended up forming this channel. We've seen it forming channels like this, consolidation channels, for the last several weeks, really, because it's just been consolidating a lot. Although this is a downward consolidation, and we bounce, plenty of action there, plenty of scalping action. But what you're looking for is when it forms this channel pattern or any sort of trend line like this, you're looking for a break. So either a break on the bottom or a break on the top. These areas of support and resistance, we may have to go back in here. 297.50 looks like a pretty good area right there. But 298 definitely, 298.50 definitely, 298.85, that area definitely. And we got a little bit of a break here at the end of the day, and I was really looking for a run all the way up to 298.50 into the close, but we didn't get that. We did close over 298. That's nice. We didn't really break this channel though, so that's not necessarily completely bearish, but we really do need another down day. I want to see it get down to like 296, and the reason 296 is, let's zoom out a little bit here. 296 is that area where I've talked about before, the purple lines on my chart. Those are areas of prior big moves up or down. So if we consolidate and we get down to 296, okay, and that's another couple of bucks from where we're at now, then we should have a nice move to take out new highs. And that is something that I would really look forward to. But we go back out of this on the daily, and let's clean this up a little bit. You see that this area right here with all this up and down, not a lot of huge price movements, not a lot of gap and up and down action, that creates a lot of good form support and resistance to play off of. And so we kind of had some of that here. In this area up, we don't have a ton of that. So you can see everything above really 295-ish is mostly new territory for SPY. So we're not dealing with a ton of prior support and resistance areas. We got enough to play off of, but we need it to form up a little bit. And part of that is these large candles, these gap up and downs. And so we want to make sure, obviously there's not enough big support in this area between 301 all the way down to 294.50 basically to really provide enough support. So we need to establish that. Down to 296 would be good. It can go a little bit lower. It really can't go below 294.50 though. If we get below this prior box consolidation area, we're in danger of going all the way back down, which, I say danger. We'll play it either way, but that's just something to look at. Now, if we go back out and look at the weekly, so we had a huge green candle on the weekly for last week, and that's great. That gives us the momentum we need to keep moving forward. We also have this 510 golden cross coming up on the weekly chart. We see that usually has some follow through, even if not this week, like this candle, even if not this week, for the next couple weeks at least. So we're looking forward to that. We're not at the top of the Bollinger Band, so we've got some room all the way up to 305. I'm hoping to get to 305 and then just come crashing back down. It'd be great. It'd be great for our strategy anyways. We've got some longer swings going on, some things that, will be able to move, be able to sustain some downward action. But I mean, you can see this is a pretty nice play, played out pretty much exactly how we said it would. So we're just looking to play the intraday moves Let's go back because we got a new month now. And let's just look at the monthly chart. And you can see on the monthly chart, we are still looking for in October to see some down moves. So September, we can move on up to the top of this channel. Then October, I expect it to move back down. Who knows if that'll actually play out, but we'll keep watching it. All right, gold, on the other hand, gold, just to keep track of it, we've seen it in stages here continually move down. We got a little bounce before it popped out of the box, and then whenever it popped out of the box, it just dove, broke our 1535 line, tested it, coming back down. So we've got a nice little downward move here that's just continuing downward in this channel. And so we'll keep watching that. Expect gold to go down even further. Don't know how much further. We'll just watch and see, Can't predict the market, just got to play it one day at a time, see what exactly is going on and play what the market gives us. So that's kind of our market recap for what happened today on September 9th. Tomorrow's my birthday. And so I will be playing, of course, as normal, but we might have some special stuff going on. And then Wednesday, I'm actually going to be out. But this has been a market recap here, spyoptionstraders.com. If you want to join us, join the chat, get the live alerts and everything as they happen in the market, get the full analysis on SPY that I do each and every day. We get a lot of pre-market analysis, so we know exactly where to make our plays and make our moves in the pre-market section before we open up for the day, so we know exactly what we're playing, establish a trade plan, and learn how to trade SPY. And the market moves there so that we can be consistent, profitable traders. Come join us. This is William Wallace with SPY Options Traders. Look forward to seeing you guys.